All right, welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist still here today, still Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys got to check out the viewer submission Sparkman deck that was brought to us by viewer Garrett Smith. Big thanks for that. And of course, like promised, we're going to go over some of the card interactions in our Albaz Strike $30 budget build. So, without needing the whole deck for too much, let's just go over some of the interactions. So, really, we do have 6 different fusion monsters that we can always go into. Some better than others. Again, the 3 on the left we ran at 3. The 3 on the right we ran at 2. It just comes up based on how useful they're going to be in the moment. I did misspeak yesterday. I said that only one of them wasn't a dragon. It turns out only half of them are dragons. Sprint was a machine, and Brigand is a beast, not just Mirror Jade being off type as a worm. So, sorry for that. I'm not sure how many comments I got about that yet because I'm taping this a couple days ago. So, it is what it is. But very cool. This gives us a lot of versatility with our extra deck, even with just building a $30 budget. So this is really cool. Let's put these guys over here for a second, and let's start talking about some of my favorite interactions. One of my favorite is Gold Sarcophagus. Kind of a crazy little one-of that we put in this deck. And really, I only ever search out one card. I search out Tri-Brigade Mercurier with this. We go ahead, we suspend it. Mercurier on its own is an excellent hand trap, usable when you have, guess what, one of these 6 boys. And it'll allow you to essentially perform an Effect Veiler effect. But unlike Effect Veiler, and I can prove this here, Effect Veiler says during your opponent's main phase, Mercurier says when your opponent's monster activates an effect while you control. So you can use this on your own turn if you have to. You can use it during the battle phase, depending on when in the battle phase it is, end phase, whatever. Does not have to actually restrict itself to a main phase. So good hand trap, but the reason we're going to use it is when it is banished, and again, Gold Sarco, going to banish that face up, we're going to be allowed to search our deck and add to our hand any one monster that's either Fallen of Albaz himself, give us half a second to find him in here, boom, or any card that mentions it in the text, just like these 2 guys do. So we can then add that to our hand. So this is really cool. Plus, even though we've banished it, we used the Gold Sarcophagus. We didn't use DD Capsule, not because DD Capsule was in the deck, but we wouldn't use it anyway because the Gold Sarcophagus basically means we're guaranteed to get that back, whereas with DD Capsule, they could just pop it. So what we're going to do now that we have the Mercurier banished, most of the time I go for Kit. Because Kit, again, says it right there in the first sentence. And I love this first bit here. If you have a fusion monster that mentions Albaz as material on field or grave, you can special summon this from the hand. So again, generally, I don't start the play just by playing Mercurier. Because it's Gold Sark. It's a one-of. I don't end up drawing it till mid-game anyway. Generally, I've already got a dragon or non-dragon on the field already. And what that allows me to do is to just immediately go into a summon. So off the Gold Sarcophagus, we've got the Mercurier in suspension. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get Kit to help build our board up. And then we're going to get Kit's effect. So if this is normal summoned or special summoned, we can add one branded spell trap that is either banished or either in our graveyard or deck and add that to our hand. And then we have to place one card from our hand to the bottom of our deck. Not that big of a deal, guys. And then additionally, you can only use one of these effects or use each of these effects once per turn. So really, you're then able to go one step further and generally grab branded fusion. So off of this move, you could, from one card, get this card in 2 turns, summon this monster while sending one card back into your deck to make sure that you get this fusion spell card that you do want. So kind of crazy, right? Additionally, you could just normal summon the Kit in order to get the branded fusion. But in this case, I'd like to pretend that we already had a fusion monster. So we're just continuing to play. And this would be like an extension special summon. So very cool. And since we have the branded fusion on the table, let's talk about that for half a second. This will allow us to fusion summon a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz. Again, take your pick. There are 6 options for you. From the extra deck, using 2 monsters from a combination of hand, deck, and field. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters the turn you activate this, and you can only activate 1 branded fusion per turn. So again, this is pretty cool. This is going to let us do some stuff. And one of the things this will let us do eventually is we can go into a huge summon and actually get like 3 fusion monsters in a turn, which is, again, fine. And you can count the one as having been in the discard pile if that makes you happier for the kit. Next card would be Albion. Half because it counts as Albaz when it's on the field or the graveyard. Second, it could board itself. Third, it could let you draw a card by placing it back into the deck using its effects. So it is a very good card too. And it also gets you some eligibility for the different fusions. As it is a Dark 2500 8-star. This qualifies for Titanclad. It is a effect monster. It could go into Sprint. You could use it for Brigand. You can't use it for Albion. You can use it for Lubellion. So again, it does qualify for 4, which does make him kind of pivotal. Fallen of Albaz himself, super good card here. If this is normal or special summoned, except during the damage step, discard a card. Fusion summon 1 monster from your extra deck using monsters from either side of the field as material, including this card. Cannot use monsters that you control outside of him as the material. So basically, he's going to super poly. He's going to snatch up a monster off the opponent's side of the field and choose a form. So again, he is our special boy. He's going to be the best. And it's great. Again, he's 1800. He's a 4-star. There's a ton of play for him. Another good card was the Keeper of the Dragon Magic. This actually also helps us get to the branded fusion. When this guy is normal or special summoned, we can discard a card, add a polymerization normal spell, or a fusion normal spell, like branded fusion. From the deck to the hand, we can additionally reveal a fusion monster in the extra deck and special summon 1 material mentioned on it from the discard pile back in down defense. So again, you could board Albion because he'll count at that point. When he's in the discard pile, he will be Albion while he's face down. Or you can go ahead and recycle your Albaz this way, face down. And again, all 6 of our options are going to label Albaz. If you use either of his effects, you are locked into fusion. Again, this is the structure deck build. We've got nothing but fusions. So just go ahead and accept the terms and move on. Good card that works for either of these 2 guys. Back to the Front. Back to the Front just lets us special summon a monster back in defense mode. This will allow you to trigger Albaz during your opponent's turn because it is when it is normal or special summoned. So you could just choose to do it as long as you've got the card in hand. Same thing with Keeper. We can go ahead and get back that bit of infusion spell if we want. You can go ahead. You get Albion real quick. You could bring on Kit. That would be fine. Get a search for a spell. That would be great. If you guys decided not to build it my way, if you guys didn't go with a Kaiju, they did include the Artifact Scythe. Artifact Scythe would allow you to shut down your opponent's extra deck plays for a turn. That's also very good. I just didn't want to play the Scythe, guys. That's all it was. And again, I keep talking about that Kaiju. Let's talk about him. Thunder King Lightning Strike, again. Very cool card, and because of the way that we can interact with our opponent's board, even without super polymerization being in the structure, because of the back to the front play with Fallen of Albaz, we can absolutely play in the Thunder Kaiju and play most of our monsters during our opponent's turn, and we could play all of them during our own turn, as this would be counted as an effect monster special summoned. It just happens to be on the opposing side of the field. And it'll qualify for 4 out of the 6 fusions as well. And then again, I guess if you did want to, you could back to the front it, play it to your side, and then switch that B-Boy to attack mode at 3300 and really use him as a fearsome monster. That would be pretty cool to see as well. Branded Lost is another good interactive card. First, it protects our monsters. It makes sure that our fusions happen. Second, when we do fuse, we get to search for either Fallen of Albaz or a monster that mentions it. So again, with Branded and Lost, we can go back through this whole cycle. We can go ahead and grab another Mercurier and just start accumulating hand traps to go into a control form. Or you guys can go into more Fallen of Albaz because you guys want to do more plays that way. You guys can do whatever you want. Branded in white, it's just a one of in my build, and I super love this spell because it's just an extra fusion spell, but you can additionally, if you're willing to banish Albaz from your discard pile, then you can also banish the other materials from the discard and really play it like Miracle Fusion. And again, if you discard this one for Albaz effect, you can also reset this card, essentially making it a free effect that turn. So that was pretty cool too. And super love their trap card, the bladed or branded Retribution. Again, I just love it. It's versatile. You could stop a summons by either bouncing one of your fusions or by returning 2 fusions that list Albaz as material from the discard pile, putting those back into the extra deck to go ahead, negate, and destroy summons. Additionally, and you can't do this in the same turn because this is one of those, you get 1 per turn and only once. The additional effect is you can banish this in a turn and return a branded spell or trap back to your hand, allowing us to again juggle our fusion spell. So just real quick, I do want to show you how you can get a couple of multiple dragons out. And honestly, we'll just do what we did at the beginning. So we'll talk about, you use the gold Sarco, you do the Mercurier, that's out over here. You could go into the Spriggans. We're going to summon our Spriggans. Okay. This will get us our branded fusion. You still have cards in hand. We don't need to worry about what they are. The branded fusion will allow us to then send Albaz and our Thunder King from our deck to the discard. And again, this is going to be Albaz plus light is how we're going to look at this. And now we are locked into our fusion plays. So just real quick, let's kind of get this all straightened up a little bit. And then the first play will be for our Albion the Branded. Now, when Albion the Branded is played, when it is fusion summoned, you can then fusion summon a level 8 or lower monster from the extra deck, except same name, by banishing materials mentioned on it from hand, field, and graveyard. And real quick, the hand is a total grab bag. It doesn't matter what's in your hand. What matters is what's on the field and in the graveyard right now. So we want to mention the Fallen of Albaz and Kit. So this will allow us to go into our dark, banish those 2. So now they're over there with Mercurier. And this will allow us to get Lubellion. And then Lubellion says if this is fusion summoned, you can discard a card. Fusion summon a level 8 by shuffling materials back from the field, grave, and banish. And again, what you could do now is take your Albaz and your Lightning Strike and go ahead and go into the power play. So now you get to choose, because you could still go into Brigand if you wanted. You could go into Titaniclad, or you could technically go into Sprint, I think. No, you can't. You can't. You absolutely can't. Don't worry about me just talking. So if you wanted to, you could go into Brigand. It would be fine. Titaniclad's probably going to give you more power output. Gain attack equal to the original levels of the monsters used for the material times 100. So that would be what? 4, 8, 9, plus that 1300, 38. Lubellion won't be able to attack. The other ones will. And then if this is in the graveyard at the end of the turn, you get extra effects. If this card is fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, it's unaffected by the activated effects. So again, real quick, you just generate 3 monsters. And again, you had to discard 1 card twice, maybe, because you would have had to place 1 card back into your deck from Kit in order to get your fusion, and you would have had to discard once for Searing to create Titaniclad. Again, since their effects are going to be once per turn, You can't actually go back into Albion and try to loop that. That's just not going to work. But this would allow you to just present 3 really cool dragons all in the same round. And again, you'd still have a couple cards in your hand. So that is it for the interactions. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, and you haven't checked out the other videos, go check those out. If you'd like to support the channel, consider subscribing. If you've already done that, consider hitting the notification bell. And if you guys want to do me just one favor today, go have a good one. Go do something for you. Go enjoy it, all right? Hope to see you guys later.